Rebels. We started, okay, well, one thing that I thought was kind of neat, thinking back on this, is the school board and the admin gave us students a lot of say in what was going on. Or at least that's how I remember. And for those of you, if anyone ever sees this and like, oh, that's not how it went down, feel free to chirp in because my memory isn't exact. But I think when I was in 10th grade, I was on the student council with, and I think Roxanne Booker, was on that as well. And I think we met with Moose Lake students and we worked, well, I don't think, I know, we met like we were a group and we started working on the school song and we picked the colors and we picked what we were going to be called, I believe. Our mascot. Why did you pick that mascot? And well, at that time, from how I remember it, we were, how are we going to say this? What sounds good? Moose Lake, Willow River, rang. That just sounds better coming off the tongue and it's easier to pronounce. Moose Lake, Willow River, So then we're like, all right, so it should be like with an R, something with an R. And I'm thinking we hashed it out very democratically for many hours. And then we came up with, what about Rebels? And then I think how it went down was then we're like, oh, okay, well, Rebels. And so we probably went to T&M Athletics, owned by Tom Brabick, and we probably said, oh, Tom, what kind of mascots? Here's what we're thinking. And I think he showed us a Rebel, and I think that Rebel had gray, red, and blue in the color scheme. And I think that's kind of what we went with then.
What are the pros and cons of having the students choose like the school song and having the students be a fundamental part of the process?
Pros, there was a lot of good energy around this, collaboration, cooperation, a lot of thought went into it, and it was just fun. And I think we tried really hard to do a good job. I mean, I can remember we had the lines up on the chalkboard for our school song, going over that, thinking about it. But then it really gave us unity. So by the time we started, because then did we start 85, 86? That was our first year of Rebels.
85.
We were locked in. It was exciting. And we felt like we owned it. We were a part of it, a big part of it. It wasn't just adults telling us what we should or shouldn't do. It was us. We were the rebels.
Totally. How did the co-op affect you personally? Like maybe the first couple years, how did that affect your life?
Okay, me personally?
Yes.
All right, I'm trying to think back when I'm 15, 16, 17. I loved it. Well, we didn't have a lot of students, so kind of similar to how it is now, I think, even 40 years later, as far as demographics. We didn't have a lot of students, so our teams weren't maybe as competitive as they would have been if we would have had a student body twice or three times the size. So when we joined with Moose Lake, all of a sudden, we had a lot of students. And Moose Lake was just coming off a few years prior to our cooperation. They were just coming off state tournaments with their girls' sports. And so they were on a high and they were competitive. And so I remember our first practice, volleyball, our first season up in Moose Lake. It was so competitive and I loved it. Not going to lie. I did like the academics, but I really, really went to school because of the sports. So for me personally, I got to express my competitive side and I got to meet new people. And I think looking back on it now, I think that was the best thing about the cooperative.
Was there any tension at all because of the joining?
I don't think so. I don't remember anything like that. If anything, it was it helped. In Willow we didn't have two locker rooms that were great, so we would share. A couple years the boys would take the good locker room, a couple years the girls would take the good locker room. So all of a sudden now we could be in a nice locker room year round. The Moose Lakes gym was very nice at the time, and so now we had more facilities. Our softball field down in Willow was really, really nice, and so we were able to use that. So I think in that manner of just having more spaces to be, I think that if there were any tension, that lessened that and lessened the problem for both districts.
Yeah. The vibe during that first initial like combined Rebels game.
Well, it was most likely volleyball. The vibe. The team on the other side of the net was afraid of us, and it was awesome. It was an awesome feeling. There were some great athletes in Moose Lake, great athletes in Willow as well, but a whole new mindset. I remember just going to that game thinking we are going to win. We are going to win. And we had some powerhouses there, and I can remember it was just so much fun. It was so much fun because that level of competition was just ratcheted up. It ratcheted up